Just because you're not happy or just because you spent X, the question is, did you get what we told you we were going to give you, right? That's the ultimate question.
If you're thinking about starting a pressure washing business, but you want to learn more about the equipment, mixing chemicals, how to clean every surface on a residential job site, property protection, and much, much more, check out the How to Wash course. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description.
What's going on, guys? Cody from Southeast Soft Wash. Today's February 28th, 2022. Wanted to do a quick video for you guys today because I've got this topic on my mind. And this is, in my opinion, the #1 character trait that determines whether you're going to be successful owning and running your own business, or if you've got this mentality, if it'd be better for you to just stay clocked in somewhere and let somebody else take care of this stuff and you just be a worker. So what character trait is that? It's personal responsibility. Now, I know when I said that, everybody in the, you're watching this, you were like, yep, amen, that's right. But really check yourself and make sure that you're not giving yourself more credit than you deserve. And I've had to grow myself in this area. I think we all do to some extent. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples that happened today, which is what got my mind on this mood. And please understand, I'm not throwing any, we have great customers. All right. We deal with literally probably 10,000 customers a year between the website and equipment and training and all that stuff. And the vast majority of folks are pretty good, but the squeaky wheels, they usually pop up, and I'm way past the point where it bothers me. I'm pretty stoic about it, but I hate it for the person on the other end because I just can see that they're not going to make it in business. And so let's talk about real quick what we're looking at here. We had a guy this morning. I'm going to give you two ends of the spectrum, okay? We had a guy this morning to enter an email. He didn't enter a tech support ticket, which is already, strike one. You're going against what our policy is. If you have any technical problems, you're supposed to enter a tech support ticket. He didn't. He just sent a generic email. It's like, okay, so we try to call him, couldn't call him back because he didn't put his phone number in the email. There's two. But his email, okay, that's brighter than I thought it was. It's already hot out here. It's Alabama, man, hot in February. But in his email, he picked up his trailer February the 4th of last year. So his trailer is 13 months old. And he said, basically, this guy bought it. This guy was running it, and they had some technicians. Well, the middle guy quit, and the trailer's basically just been put away for, the majority of a year. They're getting it back out. It's springtime, ready to start making money, and he's got issues. 12 volts aren't working. Water in the sight glass on the pump. Now, that's probably because it's been sitting outside getting rained on forever, and that ventilated cap on top, that's probably a nothing. And he said his batteries were dead. Well, yeah, I mean, it's been sitting a year. So we looked him up, tried to call him, blah, blah, blah. But the point there is none of that stuff that's what's going to happen to a rig if you park it for a year. And he was saying, basically, I'm very upset that Southeast is not going to cover these things and the warranty and blah, 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 blah. I was like, well, okay, why are you upset? If you had read your purchase agreement when we sent it to you, which is only 2 pages long, very concise. We don't make it have a lot of fine print so that it's readable. But the purchase agreement articulates everything we're going to do if you have an issue on the back end. And you're way past the warranty period for anything that we would cover. Now, your engine is still probably under warranty. The trailer itself, if you had have registered it with Caliber Trailers, who we buy the trailers from, it would be covered. But I guarantee you he didn't fill that little card out when he got home. It was in the packet that we gave him. So he's basically done nothing. And he's put it up, and he's dragging it out, and it's not perfect. 12 volts probably froze. They've been just sitting out there. I'm sure they didn't winterize anything. Even if they didn't, they're a year-old 12 volts. That's common knowledge to be understood that if you put a piece of soft wash equipment up for a year and don't touch it, probably going to have to charge some batteries, probably going to have to replace a couple 12-volt pumps. Yeah, you might need to do an oil change. Dude's just really upset, and he's annoyed, but who's he really annoyed at? We're not going to cover that. At all, 0% chance. Because if we did cover those things, number one, we would be acquiescing to the customer that just because they stomped their little feet that we had to jump in and save the day. We would literally go out of business because what they're trying to do is put you on the hook eternally to keep their equipment in top-notch shape when they're not doing their part, right? So we've got stipulations. We take care of things that need to be taken care of, but not just things like that are just, user error, wear and tear, normal maintenance stuff. We can't do it. Nobody could do it. You would go negative. So that was silly. And we got another one. Had a couple who bought a trailer back in the 1st of last August. So August, September, October, November, December, January. We're at the end of February. That's 7 months ago. They were not able to stay for the training on that day for whatever reason. And so we gave them a login for our Soft Wash 101 video, which we do this. If a guy buys equipment, he's not able to hang out with us on that Friday for training, we give them a login so they can watch the video. Just, you know, as a courtesy. The training is just a courtesy thing. So they didn't, we never heard back from them. Well, yesterday they emailed Emily and said, hey, we were never able to watch that video back in August. I'm like, okay, well, it's been 7 months. Why didn't you say something then? You know, but whatever. Emily resent them a fresh login link so they don't have to pay for it. It's free. Then they realized that it's an expiring link. It's a streaming link. You don't get to download it. And we do that for privacy reasons, piracy reasons. We've been selling this video for 4 years. It gives you 72 hours to watch it, you know, and if you have a problem, call us. We'll send you another link. But they said, well, we thought we were going to be able to use this as the training for our business, you know, forever. We were just going to be able to hire people and let them sit down and watch the video. And for the next 20 years, that was how we were going to do our training. Well, here's the thing. We never told you that. That's not how we do. We don't give that out. You bought it. Then they threw this one out. We bought a $30,000 trailer. And I think when people say that I spent X, you should do this. It's like, well, hold on a minute. No, we shouldn't do that. Just because you're not happy or just because you spent X, the question is, did you get what we told you we were going to give you, right? That's the ultimate question. And it's no different than if you guys go out and wash a roof and the customer comes out and they're mad because you didn't wash the house. You're like, well, you'd only paid for the roof, right? You want the house. That's a separate deal, right? Or we could have bundled it in the beginning. That negotiation and deal has already been done. They probably could have talked to Jonathan, my sales guy, at the point of sale and said, hey, we don't really want to learn the industry. We just want to buy the equipment, hire some technicians. So is there a way we could get some ongoing training? And maybe we would have done something like that. But you can't expect things on the back end that were never part of the deal on the front end. We've got franchise companies that we negotiated with, and they buy multiple skids, multiple trailers a year. We've got 2 franchise companies, very large customers, millions of dollars, right? And you know what we do with those? Not next week, but the next week, I'm hand delivering 4 units to Nebraska to their big annual conference, and I'm going to be there doing training for them. You know why? Because it was part of the deal that we negotiated when we made the sale. Now, a regular old customer, you know, we sell rigs all the time. You're not got a lot of leeway there, but we'll do within reason to help you out. But we're not just going to give away the farm because you're not happy. Rewind your brain and figure out, is this a me problem? Here's your problem. Let's talk about the first guy with the trailer. The problem is you didn't take care of your equipment. When you put it away, you didn't put everything away correctly. You didn't winterize, I'm sure. Like, you didn't plug the battery up to the maintainer because it has a maintainer, and you could have just done that and your batteries would be fine. But you didn't. You stuck it over there on the side of the yard and let it sit for a year, and now you're not willing to take that responsibility and own it because that's hard for humans to do. It is. It's a hurdle you have to get over. Jocko Willink podcast, right? It's extreme ownership where everything's your fault. Talk about the second folks I was talking about. They're not willing to say, hey, we should have learned washing. We should be subject matter experts on washing if we're going to run a successful washing company. They don't want to do that. They want to pawn it back on Southeast Soft Wash. Well, it's somebody else's fault. Well, it is a verifiable fact that it's not our fault because we can read the purchase agreement and we can see your complaint, and your complaint doesn't fall within the scope of work that we committed to, right? So it's not he said, she said. It's literally, it's in writing. So understand, if you got a customer, hello, Emily, doing video. If you got a customer that complains about something, she went away. I don't know where she's going. We look at it. Is it a legit complaint? Here's a scenario where it would be legit. Guy gets a trailer or a skid, and 3 weeks later, you know, something's going on with his pressure washer. We've got a pressure washer right now at a warranty center with a Kohler engine that had a little issue. And you know what? It's in the warranty period. And you know what? We're making sure that Kohler takes care of it. We had the Kohler representatives at the shop today, and if they told us, hey, if that service center doesn't take care of it, just call us. We'll make sure that customer gets taken care of. Why? Because the customer's complaint was legit and it fell within the scope of what we told them we were going to do. We have people complain about they put in an online order and they get their surfactant 5 days later. It's like, but that's in our shipping policies. You fail within the shipping policy that's clearly stated. So it's just been a journey for me of, it's more interesting now than frustrating. It's like, what is that in people? And do I do that? You know, I don't want to make sure that, I'm sure I do it and I don't see it. These people that I'm talking about, they don't see that they're being that way. They truly don't. And that's what's, I can lead them to water of how to be successful, but I can't make them drink. Now, let me give you a third example of the guy on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's a guy named Tyler Jones. Tyler, if you see this video, dude, I'm talking about you. I was just on the phone with Tyler this morning. Tyler does not have our equipment, but he has bought probably $30,000 worth of parts, chems. He builds his own equipment. He uses all of our parts. Tyler is a great customer. I think he's probably our highest spender on the website, on online sales. Tyler's way up there on the top of the list. And he was calling in to order 3 more Remcos. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm just going to go ahead and order a few more, make sure I got spares. He keeps like 6 spare pumps in his garage so that he can't go down. And he was just talking to me and Dusty. He's like, yeah, I had a couple that lasted like 2 months and I just, changed them out or whatever. It's like, most of them last 6 months. Just getting some more. Look at the difference. Does Tyler really want to spend the money, 6 pumps at almost $200 a piece? He's $1,200 with shipping. He's $1,300, $1,400 to have a box of Remco pumps sitting on the shelf. Does Tyler want to spend that money? Probably not. But what he's doing is he's taking extreme ownership of every situation that could happen out in the field that could shut his guys down, right? Now, if he gets those pumps and one of them has an issue where it falls with the complaint, the issue falls within the scope of what that pump is supposed to do, then he's got a reason to, to say something and he should be taken care of. So we try to go way above and beyond to take care of people. But here's what I found. People will abuse you just as much as you let them. They will. And one thing that's allowed us to put our foot down and really hold the line was 2 things. Number 1 is we always do right. Number 2, we've got so many customers that I don't have to grovel and be like, well, I'm just going to do it anyway just to make them happy. I don't care if you're happy. I really don't. Our goal is not to make you happy. Our goal is to do right. And if you do right, you do personal responsibility, you take care of that in your own mind, I promise you guys, it will manifest itself in abundance in your life. Don't always be looking for the scapegoat, right? Put the buck stops here with me. That way I know if I ever play the card, hey, vendor, I've got a problem. These things are failing or there's an issue. I make sure it falls within the scope of what that vendor or what that company or what that person relationships, right? This is even on your personal relationships, personal responsibility. We try to hold people accountable to things they were never part of the deal. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's warm, it's hot, it's ready, it's wash season. I got to go pump this koi pond out. We've got our house for sale, so we're trying to do some cleaning up. But yeah, man, it's just springtime. Everybody's firing their equipment up and they're realizing that they didn't do a good job of squaring it away when they put it away. And it's amazing at the differences of mindset. It's either, well, it's somebody else's fault that I didn't winterize, or it's, well, dang, I got to pay a stupid tax, and learn from it and go on. Get that personal responsibility. Ain't nobody coming to save you, dog. It's up to you. We'll see you guys in the next video. Whoosh.